welcome to today's On This Day in Tudor History. I'm Claire Ridgway. I'm the author of those books just behind me, including On This Day in Tudor History, which has served as the inspiration really for this series of videos where I share with you a Tudor history event for each day of the year. So I'm here every day of 2019 with births, deaths, marriages, executions, baptisms, coronations, battles, all sorts of things that took place in the Tudor period. Okay, today I'm taking you back to 1552, which, if you know your Tudor monarchs and your Tudor timeline, you will know is in the reign of King Edward VI. On this day in Tudor history, the 10th of May 1552, John Clerk, or Clerk, but we generally say Clark, author and secretary to Thomas Howard, 3rd Duke of Norfolk, committed suicide in the Tower of London. Now, Clark hanged himself with his girdle after books about necromancy were found in his possession. And after these books were found in his possession, he was interrogated, not only about the books that were found in his possession, but also regarding lewd prophecies and slanders that he was said to be connected with. Now, it's always interesting to find out, well, I find it interesting anyway, to find out a bit more about these Tudor figures that we don't know quite so much about. I mean, when I was researching for this book, I'd come across these names and I just wanted to dig deeper into them. We all know the prominent Tudors, but sometimes it's interesting to dig a bit deeper into the people that served them, the people kind of on the edge. So here are some facts about John Clerk. As I said, he was connected to Thomas Howard, 3rd Duke of Norfolk. He was employed by him as a tutor for the Duke's son, poet and diplomat Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey. After he'd finished tutoring Henry Howard, he then went on from 1530 to act as the Duke of Norfolk's secretary. He was a very conservative Catholic, and he was an author as well as a tutor and secretary. And his works included a translation of a treatise on courtly behaviour. He translated this, it was originally a Spanish work, but he translated a French version of that. So it went from Spanish to French and then to English, the English translation being done by John Clerk. And then he also did a work which his biographer on Oxford Dictionary of National Biography, Seymour Bakerhouse, describes as a Catholic redaction of biblical accounts of the general resurrection of the dead and the Last Judgment, in which John Clerk urges Christians to ensure their salvation by performing the traditional corporal works of mercy described in the Gospel of Matthew. So a very religious text, and that comes from his conservative Catholicism. Now, Clark's master, the Duke of Norfolk, ended up being imprisoned from 1546, like his son Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey, in the Tower of London. Now, Clark joined his master because the Duke of Norfolk, he wasn't executed only because his execution was scheduled actually after Henry VIII died. Henry Howard, his son, wasn't so lucky. He was executed not very long before Henry VIII died, but the Duke of Norfolk managed to keep his head, although he remained in prison until Mary I's reign. So you've got the Duke of Norfolk in the Tower of London, and then Clark joining him in the Tower in 1552, following his interrogation by members of Edward VI's council. But of course, he committed suicide on this day in history. And his suicide is thought to have been due to him wanting to avoid public shame. I'm sure that he would have ended up having a very public trial and even execution perhaps, and he wanted to avoid the public shame of going through all that. So he hanged himself in the Tower of London. So that's John Clerk, one of those figures that nobody has heard of, unless of course you've read my book. And but then, you know, I don't write much about him in the book, and I just thought it would be interesting to go into a bit more detail in today's video. You can subscribe to these On This Day videos by just clicking around about there. You can hit the bell to be notified, and of course you can give me a like if you've enjoyed this video, which I hope you have. I'll be back tomorrow with another Tudor history goodie for you. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.